What it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, and I'm back with you with another new chapter in the official chapter of the SMT Hero. And this is going to be the true official start of the story. So, at any rate, let's go that of a recap though for the prologue. Basically, the origins on how a certain entity basically decided to pass down a system throughout a clan, throughout that of the development of one clan, mainly because of his descendants being related to one of his favorite characters after all. He gave this, nobody that of the Shin Megami Tensei system, making him the most powerful and one of the most important people within Japan and also the Shinto pantheon, and even left his mark throughout the history of the world and also the supernatural as well, as his clan, known as the Megami clan, would continue to change the supernatural in their own ways. And now the new head of this clan would be given to that of one boy, that boy being Izuku Midoriya. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Chapter 1. You have a system, Izuku. All men are not created equal. That was something I learned at the young age of 5 years old. When you live in a world where the unordinary becomes the ordinary, and when you basically have no powers, no nothing, you are considered the unordinary nowadays. You may be wondering who I am. My name is Izuku Midoriya. I'm beginning my final year in junior high school, and then I plan on going to that of the most prestigious school in all of Japan. Well, one of the most prestigious schools in Japan, known as UA High, so I can become a hero, just like my idol, All Might, Japan's #1 hero, and the symbol of peace. It's because of him everybody has lived in that of true happiness and bliss, because everybody knows if anything bad happens, All Might will always be there to protect everybody. When I saw his debut, when he came back to that of Japan after being in America for the past 10 years, I couldn't help but admire him. The way he smiles, the way he basically helps everybody and relieves out of their fear and pain with that of just the look alone. That's the kind of hero I always wanted to be. If only one thing, if I had a quirk though. However, the worst thing is, even though if I didn't have a quirk, I feel like there were other ways for me to become a hero. And that reason being, before Izuku could continue, Isu noticed in the distance that of a villain attack. With him couldn't help but get excited, wondering what heroes are going to show up. As he runs to the location, seeing that of a gigantification villain, wearing that of a sleeveless black vest with that of black shorts on, as he almost looks like that of a bullhead shark, but still have the same skin tone as any Japanese person, of course. With the trains basically stopping, with Izuku getting closer and closer, he soon noticed that of two heroes on the scene. One basically protecting that of the civilians by creating that of multiple water lines, as his being the water hero, Backdraft, as he basically has that of a fireman's jacket with a white mask with a single red eye in the center, while also wearing a fireman's helmet as well, with his arms looking like that of fire hose nozzles, in the other pro being a local favorite, that being Death Arms, wearing that of a long sleeve cardigan with that of showing off that of his muscular chest, baggy blue pants with that of combat boots reinforced with steel toes, and also that of a construction equipment around around his wrist and his forehead, with that of spiky white hair and chiseled jaw features as well, as he's holding a piece of debris without even breaking a sweat before tossing it to the side to make sure that he didn't hit any civilians, with then saying, "Everyone here okay?" With the crowd going wild for that of Death Arms. As for that of another pro that shows up, as you can hear tons of girls squealing for that of this hero, a rising star in the rankings, that being Kamui Woods, wearing a blue leotard and his body basically composed of wood. Even his helmet is completely made out of wood as well, as he swings from that of area to area, before then swinging on top of that of the train that stops, saying, "Vile villain, you are the prime definition of true villainy for what you've done." But then one civilian saying, "Hey, what the heck did he even do?" I think he basically tried to steal a purse, and guy kind of overreacted when all the pros showed up. Man, saying it was true villainy is kind of stupid though. But then one guy basically putting in a number in his phone saying, "Hello, I'm going to be a little bit late. Train stopped due to a villain attack, and the pros are trying to take care of it." With Izuku a little bit nonchalant saying, "They take this all too seriously, but I can't really blame them when all these pros are here. There's no way that all of them would." Within Izuku basically already having that of his notebook out, trying to take notes on all of the pros around him. Within one guy with that's quite shorter than Izuku, but has basically multiple spikes on that of his head, 2 on his side and 1 on top, as he's quite bald, saying, "Hey there, young man. I'm guessing you're kind of one of those hero nerds, aren't you?" Within Izuku a little bit nervous saying, "Yeah, actually." With then saying, "I'm guessing you're wanting to work hard to become a hero. Guess I'm rooting for you, kid." With then hearing that, soon, that's when Kamui Woods looking like he's about to extend an attack. However, Izuku knew what attack it was, saying, "Oh, I know what that move is. It's a special move." But then, as Izuku and Kamui would say at the same time, "Lacrima Chain Prison!" As multiple branches head straight for that of the gigantification villain. Before then, you could hear somebody screaming in the distance as it gets closer and closer, before they scream, "Canyon Cannon!" Because the voice was feminine and it came from a pro-heroine. A pro-heroine that Izuku had no idea who it was, before catching everybody completely off guard for that very moment, as she basically drop-kicked the villain by herself. Before then, basically putting him in that of putting his arms behind his back. However, she soon basically flaunts a little bit of her ass after all, as this being the newly debuted pro, Mount Lady, showing off her skin-tight, hero uniform, composed of blue and pale yellow tones, with that of a purple domino mask and blue horns that show off all of her curves in the best way. With then Izuku being caught off guard with seeing that of multiple photographers as they all go, "Money shot, money shot, money shot." With Izuku realizing, of course, we always have heroes like that too. Is seeing that of the debut pro heroine Mount Lady, capturing that of the villain all by herself, taking the glory from Kamui Woods. And she couldn't help but basically smile at the fact she did, with Kamui Woods slumping on top of the train. With that, a lot of people began to disperse, while some still waiting for the trains to go back online after all. With Izuku still writing down about that Mount Lady, with then saying, "You really are one of those quirk nerds. Still rooting for you, kid. Good luck out there." As the man walks off, with Izuku smiling before closing his notebook and sighing, saying, "If only it was that simple." As he soon runs off to that of his junior high school, that being Aldera Junior High, just your usual plain and normal prep school that you would see in any other Japanese school at all. With then, soon a teacher, with that of a slick black, graying, blonde hair, saying, "Now then, students, you're all now third years. Before classes start, I think you all need to think about what you'll be doing after you graduate that of junior high school. Now, you can basically go to high school, of course, or you can basically skip high school and just go straight into that of the workforce. But instead, how about we take that a career aptitude test and see what you are all truly capable of." However, before he could basically say anything, or continue. He basically tosses all the papers up into the air, but with that of a big smile as everybody in the classroom began to activate and use their quirks, saying, "But why bother? After all of you plan on becoming pro heroes and going to the hero track." With everybody going wild using their quirks, with Izuku not even fazed by this, as he basically just continues writing things down in his notebook, as he's still writing about that of Mount Lady, of course. As he finishes, he soon pulls out that of another notebook. However, this one's a lot more different, mainly because there's a lock on it. But not just any lock, as it looks like that of a talisman lock. As soon as he presses that, as soon as he touches on that, the talisman, it soon unlocks itself, having an opening for him as he writes down. However, instead of that of pro heroes, it shows that of certain creatures and abilities that seem quite off from quirks or quirk users. As he basically was about to write down, within one person, a loud, obnoxious, and quite arrogant, "Don't lump me in with these losers, teach. They'd be lucky enough to be a sidekick for some no-name D-lister after all. Somebody of my talent would be wasted basically going to some wannabe hero school after all." But then, multiple people couldn't help but get annoyed at this. However, some just stayed quiet, while still a small few couldn't help but smile at that of this guy's bravado, with the ones getting annoyed saying, "You really think you're better than us, Katsuki? Yeah, what makes you think you're better, Bakugo?" As this person being Katsuki Bakugo, because Bakugo soon jumps up on his desk, "Because I'm the only one going to that of UA High." Within hearing that, everybody could help be caught off guard except Izuku, as he can help but roll his eyes, but smile at the same time, as their teacher saying, "You're planning on going to UA. Honestly, given your grades and everything else, I think you could make it." Within, Bakugo couldn't help but laugh, saying, "I got the best scores during the mock exam last year. I have the strongest quirk in this entire dead-end school. And once I go to UA, I'll be the #1 hero and be the richest and most famous hero even more than All Might." As he begins laughing like a maniac. Before then, their teacher, looking at a certain paper, saying, "Oh, right, Midoriya, aren't you planning on going to UA as well?" Within hearing that, Bakugo stopped laughing. Before then, tilting his head back towards Izuku, with Izuku basically blushing, saying, "God damn it, why the hell did he single me out?" Before Izuku realized, oh right, of course he singled me out for one reason or only. With then, everybody in the classroom couldn't help but laugh at Izuku, with one student saying, "Seriously? You really think they're going to allow somebody like you, Midoriya? Yeah, I don't think that they're going to allow a quirkless loser like you." With Izuku basically signed saying, "They basically got rid of that rule years ago. I won't know him unless I try." Within, Izuku could feel something coming straight at him with killing intent as he moves his notebook back into his bag, before then jumping back. At the same time, he jumps on that of another student's desk, with knocking them back in the process. Within, too, Izuku realized, "Oh crap, I did not mean to do that. It was just pure reflex." Having a nervous look, looking at the person who tried to attack him, or rather, tried to threaten him, being Bakugo, saying, "You damn nerd, why the hell did you dodge?" Within, Izuku saying, "Gachan, please, calm down. We can talk this out like normal people," saying, "Fuck that, you worthless piece of shit! What makes you think a worthless Deku like you could even make it to UA? You have worse chances than any of these worthless extras." With Izuku looking down as he gets off from the desk, saying, "Like I said, I won't know unless I try," saying, "And you try, you'll get yourself killed like a worthless Deku that you are. Do us all a favor and stay in your goddamn lane, you worthless fuck." With then, Izuku could see everybody, almost like that of demonic figures. However, he soon takes a deep breath as everything goes back to normal. Before then, the teacher saying, all right, Bakugo, get back to your seat. Classes are about to start." As the bell finally goes off, with Bakugo basically scoffing, heading back to his seat, with Izuku picking up his chair and also sitting back down. seeing that of his scorched desk with so many words that saying worthless, useless, trash, quirkless freak, abomination, or end yourself, or go away. As Izuku has been being bullied throughout his entire life growing up as a kid. Not just because of him diagnosed quirkless from a young age, but also due to something else as well. Then seeing that of two figures that are quite similar to Izuku in one way or another. With enter that of Hisashi Midoriya, a man with that of a shabby beard with messy black hair, and quite that of a humbled and always somewhat goofy look to him. As he's basically your everyday average salaryman and your typical normal quirk person, to be fair. His quirk, fire breathing, basically allows him to do as the exec says, breathe fire. He mainly provides for his family by being an office worker, a hard-working one at that, at one of the most prestigious companies in that of all of Tokyo, and even branching out to other countries as well, such as in America. He got a promotion and basically doubles his salary than usual. The only problem is he had to basically work at that of the American branch and take care of it. Originally, he wanted to bring his entire family, but both his wife and son decided to stay, not wanting to root their entire life here, and they can just wait when that of husband and father return, which he always did not want to make his family sad in any way possible, showing he was a good man, always looking out for them, even if he can't be there for them in the process. As for that of Izuku's mother, Inko Midoriya, or as her original name was, Inko Megami, a member of the Megami clan, one of the most prestigious, most powerful, and most influential clans in all of Japan, possibly even the world. Inko wanted to live that of a normal life with that of her family, even tried living a normal life away from that of the prestige and power that the clan has over all of Japan, from both business, politics, and even the economy itself. Her only silver lining growing up was that of her childhood best friend since junior high and high school, Mitsuki Bakugo, or her original name was Mitsuki Amano, before marrying her husband, Masaru Bakugo. Mitsuki was aware of her best friend's family life, but she always felt happy, grateful the fact that the only positive thing in her life was her growing up as kids after all. And you would think everything would be great between that of their own children, but that's far from the truth. The truth is that when Izuku was diagnosed quirkless, Katsuki, Masaru and Mitsuki's son, and Izuku's former childhood best friend began to look down on Izuku. For multiple factors, actually, but they don't matter at this time. Let's just say being quirkless was the one thing that Bakugo could never accept, that Katsuki could never accept, that his one friend that he basically had growing up was not even on his level, to the point that he began to look down on him, treat him like crap, bully him on a daily, even to the point that their mother's relationship as childhood best friends also began to strain, not as Inko not wanting her son to suffer anymore, and Mitsuki not wanting that of the young boy she sees as that of a nephew to suffer anymore as well. So they rarely see each other like they used to growing up, only occasionally just walking around with each other when they catch each other around the neighborhood. You could say this is one of the only problems. However, when it comes to that of the Megami clan, on the other hand, there's another thing that they have a strong connection towards, and that being the supernatural. Not that what of quirks, not that of the current society, that everybody with superpowers is the norm. No, the true supernatural. The reality that beings like that of devils, angels, fallen angels, vampires, werewolves, elves, and many other creatures and even entities beyond their comprehension exist in this reality. And the Megami clan has always played a role in the shaping of the current supernatural. mainly because of its heads. Not to mention, the current head, it has already been decided at this time. Currently at that of the train station, or that of Masafu, lies that of two young women. One that looking like in that of her, well, late teens to early 20s, while the other looking exactly around the same age as Izuku, but, well, is quite well endowed in certain places, alongside that of the other older woman, who is also quite well endowed actually. Within, that's as the one with that of pink hair, around the same age as Izuku, saying, "So this is Masafu Shizuoku Prefecture, the home that Lady Inko and Lord Izuku has been staying at for so long." Within, the elderly woman, wearing that of a quite, well, revealing kimono that shows off quite a bit of her massive cleavage, with that of blonde hair and pink highlights in her hair, saying, "Seems like it." However, as she basically pronounced that of her cleavage, there's that of a tattoo on it. However, it looks quite unique of a tattoo. I don't know if that of little Izu's already awakened that of the power, but I hope he already has. Because if he hasn't, it's going to be a pain in the ass to explain it. The pink-haired girl saying, "Shouldn't you show some little bit more respect to Lord Izuku?" Then she's saying, "Why should I? I've known the kid since he was literally in diapers. Like hell I would show that little brat some respect." But then the pink-haired girl is saying, "Let's just get going. I'm pretty sure classes should be ending right now at this time zone." As the two walk off, however, at the same time, certain creatures begin to materialize, and that's of purple-like energy, as they have that of pitchforks, and basically bat-like wings, and have that of small but lanky legs and arms, with a large mouth and a tongue, and that's of a long tongue, with red eyes, as they saying, "So, this is where he should be. Our duty is to kill the user, to prevent the Megami clan to have its new head. Let's end this once and for all." With that, the three entities soon fly off. Back at Aldera, Izuku finishing up that of his notebook. That being the new notebook, as on the center, it says that of the powers of the occult. Then, realizing this should be enough, I think I've learned quite a bit without realizing it. Somebody grabbed that of his occult book, saying, hey! As the person that grabbed it being Bakugo, as he looks at the note, saying, "Powers of the occult? The hell are you trying at, Deku? What, you're so damn annoyed and pissed and sad that you can't have a quirk that you basically looking up supernatural shit? Get real." With one boy with that short, brunette hair, as this being Yubi, a kid that Izuku and Bakugo grew up with, while the other being that of a kid with that of being quite bald, actually, saying Ubame, but then saying, "Seriously, look at him. He's so damn desperate for a quirk, he's looking up supernatural shit like a loser." Ha, really, Deku? What are you gonna do? Blood sacrifice? Sacrifice your life for basically a quirk that you never will use? As they all begin laughing. Within, Bakugo trying to open it, saying, "What the? God damn it, why the hell can I not open this damn thing?" Within, seeing the opportunity, Izuku grabbed it out of Bakugo's hands before putting it back in his bag. Within, Bakugo saying, "You got some fucking nerve, you damn nerd!" Within, Izuku saying, "I'm just grabbing my stuff back from you who basically took it out of my hands. How is that any nerve?" Within, soon Bakugo popping explosions in the palm of his hand, saying, "Oh, you are really starting to piss me off. When the fuck did you start growing a backbone?" With Izuku getting a little bit nervous, saying, "Well, you see, as all that bravado basically went outside the window, as then soon two of Bakugo's lackeys began to grab Izuku by his arm, saying, "Hey, let go of me!" Before then saying, "Hold him." As then as explosions begin crackling even louder and louder before Izuku realized, oh crap, not again! As before that, a Bakugo could land his explosions on Izuku's body or anywhere else. That's when everything began to slow down and completely stop. With then Izuku realizing that nothing is happening and even the explosions begin no longer going off. As he looks around with seeing, he is no longer, everybody stopped in place with now getting out of the two lackeys' grip, as it feels like they've loosened up a bit, or at least he can basically get out of there without them holding him in place. Before then, looking around saying, what's going on here? Before soon, a voice saying, congratulations, Izuku Midoriya. This is something I've been waiting to give you for a while now. Within, saying, huh? As a screen appears right in front of Izuku saying, congratulations, upload has been complete. Megaten system, Mark 9, now installed. Within, realizing, what? Megaten? Within, thinking, wait, I've heard that name. Megaten system. What great-great-uncle? Izuma. He said, as Izuku has a flashback of a man who looks like him, but actually quite older too, but still has that of short green messy hair and a look basically just seeing things beyond that of Izuku's understanding, saying, Izuku, my little dear nephew, if anything happens, if you hear something, voices beyond your understanding, either several things have happened. You are given a sacred gear, or you've been chosen by the entity that has basically blessed our clan. Out of everybody in this clan, I feel like you are more worthy for this system more than I. With Izuku, basically 4 years old, saying, what do you mean? And saying, you'll know when you're older, kiddo. Just let you know, when you gain this system, you'll have a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders and a reputation to live up to as well. As Izuku gets out of the flashback, realizing this is what great-great-uncle meant. Before saying, wait, version 9? That's right, version 9. What I've been looking forward to give you for a while now. Now then, before I can give you your rewards, and seeing how long this system has lasted among this clan, you must choose a profession. What would you like to be among this system? Within, certain descriptions appeared with that of certain images of the individuals. With the first one being Devil Summoner, able to basically summon demons from another plane of reality to fight for you. It doesn't matter what they look like, if they're seen as demons, gods, or even ancient heroes. They serve you willingly, no matter what. The downside of being a Devil Summoner, you have to learn the abilities that your demons have. You can't just basically have them automatically. You have to learn and develop them yourself. With Izuku seeing the other option, Demi-Fiend. Unlike that of Devil Summoner, where you can summon demons however you see fit, no matter who they are, Demi-Fiend, you'll basically make that of demons your allies. They work alongside you, but they have a will and mind of their own. Not to mention, as a Demi-Fiend, you'll have that of enhanced strength, speed, and durability, and a strong affinity with that of the element of destruction. The downside of this is that a few of your demons you can summon can basically turn on you if you don't have a strong affinity with them. Not to mention, this class aligns more with that of the chaos alignment. So you'll make more actions cater to that of your selfishness or to that of chaos. With Izuku hearing that, saying, okay, that's crazy. But then looking at the other option, saying, Nahabino. Become one with a god of your choosing. Once fused with that of the god, you're able to have that of enhanced speed, strength, and power, and your magical abilities are enhanced as well. As for the demons that you summon, they're not fully summoned under your thrall. You are under contract with them. If you can complete their contract that they have for you, they'll be basically loyal to you. But if you don't, the demon will be lost to you and even basically attack you for failing them. Also warning, choosing this one will basically put you on that of the alignment of law. Your actions and choices will be dictated by that of your duty of justice and your ideas on saving others, even if it means that you are seen as somebody who cares little for that of emotions and only care about that of logic and reasoning. With Izuku looking at the options, thinking, okay, so these are what I have. As then he looks over, thinking that Nahabino would be a good option. However, for some reason, he looks back at that of the Devil Summoner option. Sure, he won't be able to gain that of the inhuman supernatural strength powers that he was actually hoping for if he chooses that of Devil Summoner, but he would have to learn it and develop it himself automatically. But I'm guessing I have no choice. Having that of powerful entities under my control, basically working for me, the very thing that I saw back then when I was a kid, as Izuku having flashes of that of one powerful entity in front of him with angelic-like appearance, but with that of power that feels like he's about to die at a young age. With then saying, I'll take it. As then he selects Devil Summoner. With then the entity saying, good choice. Honestly, you're always the kind of person that would prefer to learn things more than basically just giving them. And as long as you have a good support system, you'll even work harder and harder after all. I guess you should be thanking your predecessors for that, if anything. With then hearing this saying, what are you talking about? With him saying, oh, never mind. You'll wait and see. With then, soon, the system fully uploads, saying, for being version 9, you'll have access to that of the catalog of demons that your predecessors have already collected or captured. Any demons that haven't been that have not been shown, you must either create or basically capture yourself. Hearing that, he's saying, so either I gotta create or capture them as my own. That's gonna be a bit of a problem, but I think I can handle it. With then, it continues saying, due to this being version 9, you're able to have that of one free summon from the compendium that has been used by that of past users of the system. Please choose wisely, since you have chosen that of the Devil Summoner alignment. Even though that of the demons are loyal to you to a fault and will always follow your orders no matter what, their personality and their alignment can affect you as well. You can go that of the neutral, chaos, or even law, depending on the demons that you keep in your company at all time. With Izuku gulping, realizing, okay, yeah, a lot of pressure there. But then, looking over, before then, he soon notices, he goes over certain demons, certain entities with that of names that he knows, with realizing, holy crap, there really are demon versions of gods and heroes and angels. It's crazy. No wonder my clan was so feared among the supernatural all these years. To take variants of that of already existing beings of this world and basically but either have more powerful versions or at least versions of them that are more loyal to one being outside of their personal alignment is crazy. No wonder our clan has so much power. Before then, noticing that of one demon that caught his eye, as in that of the compendium being a demon known as Cleopatra. Within, Izuku basically having a red face, saying, I'm not trying to pick her for basically her looks or anything else, but then looking at that of her alignment, as it's mainly law and neutral chaos. Within, Izuku looking at his hand, saying, I don't want to change. I still want to be a hero, but after knowing about the supernatural growing up and how current society treats people like me, I'm not as naive as people think I am. With Izuku clenching his fist, as with that of a look of determination saying, I want somebody I know I can trust by my side, and I had to choose her. And as somebody who was once a ruler, it only makes sense to use her too. Even if it's not this world's version of Cleopatra, who most definitely might have been reincarnated into a new body and new life and a new name, still, wisdom like this does not come so easily. Within, as Izuku takes a deep breath, with a look of seriousness with his big green eyes, as he selects Cleopatra as his first most powerful demon starting out. With that, Cleopatra soon appears into that of a bright blue light, with fanfare and everything, as she shows off that of her quite seductive and curvy body. With then she's saying, hello there, so you're my new master. It's a pleasure to meet you, Master Izuku. I am Cleopatra, once known as the Queen of Egypt. It's such a pleasure to meet you, darling. As she sways her hips, striding in place, with one foot in front of the other, as she places her index finger on that of Izuku's cheeks, as he couldn't help but basically blush at seeing that of the, quite strong and stoic demoness. Within, she's saying, still, it seems we're not done yet. With Izuku saying, what do you mean? Before then, as soon the system saying, congratulations, Izuku Midoriya. You have chosen the abilities of a devil summoner. Your first high-level demon will be that of Cleopatra. Now, let your journey begins, not here and now. With soon, as time begins to resume, that's when Bakugo realized, as the two lackeys also say, what the hell happened? Before then, without warning, all three of them were knocked out with a chop to their necks by Cleopatra. Within, Izuku realizing, Cleopatra, what did you? With her saying, I already knew the situation in terms that you were already in, my darling little master. So it's best to knock them out as soon as I can. And don't worry, they're not dead, but they will have at least sore bruises on their neck, though. A little bit of a punishment for what they tried to do to you. But then Izuku, a little bit frantic, saying, even so, but still. Before then, that's when everything goes dark for a split second, as even Izuku and Cleopatra could feel it, as a barrier basically consumes that of the school. As Izuku realizing, wait, a barrier? I remember Mom told me about this, alongside a few of my relatives. Within, Cleopatra saying, it seems somebody doesn't want you to bear the system. Little did they know, they're already too late. As then, barging through that of the windows, are that of the fiend-like creatures that came for Izuku, saying, you, the chosen one of the system, our Lord and Master have called for your death to prevent you from becoming too strong to stop him. As they prepare that of their tiny little pitchforks, saying, now die! As Izuku, a little bit frantic and scared for a bit, as he's currently now in shock. However, without warning, Cleopatra basically kicks each and every one of them all in order, sending them flying out of the classroom, right back out of the shattered glass that they entered from, with her long, beautiful, curved legs basically still extended out from her kicks. With her, she couldn't help but basically smirk, saying, they're way too easy. Whoever basically sent them didn't think much of you. With Izuku looking down, saying, I'm used to it, to be honest. Within, she's saying, oh no, my darling master, don't be so saddened. If anything, them underestimating you comes to our advantage. Within, Izuku sighing, saying, yeah, you're right. It is our advantage. Just because I'm sawing about it doesn't mean I'm not aware on how to use it. As he grabs out of his bag, within saying, so, did you kill them? With her saying, of course. Those are basically low-ranking demons. technically, you're the only one to be able to summon them. But it seems, yeah, makes sense. After all these years, some people are now starting to wise up. They're making their own bootleg versions of the Megaten system. Am I correct? Before then, he gets a ping in his head before then saying, "Congrats, you have figured out that people of this world are starting to build and start to use that of the Megaten summoning system for their own means. You have gained that of 500 points." With Izuku blinking saying, "Wait, just like that? I was just guessing. I didn't think." Within, Cleopatra, also connected to the system, is aware of the points saying, "It's to be expected. After all of the things that your ancestors have done with this system, either being devil summoners, demi-fiends, or even Nahabinos of their own, they have basically made their impact throughout the supernatural and of the current reality of this world, even among you, that of your hero society as well, Master." Within, hearing that, saying, "That makes way too much sense." Before then, everything goes back to normal as the barrier soon goes down. Before then, Cleopatra saying, "Let's talk again in the future, Master. I would love to get to know you even more," as she soon winks, causing Izuku to blush even more like a strawberry. Before then, looking back at that of his former childhood friend and his two lackeys. Before sighing, saying, "Sorry, Kachan, but I got no time to waste on you." Then, looking back at that, the window saying, "Thank God they put up a barrier. I was really not looking forward to basically explaining how the windows got destroyed." While Izuku was on the way back home, at the same time, he would have basically ran into that of a certain sledge villain and a certain number one hero of his country, and would soon probably even became that of the man's successor. But that was in one timeline, in one reality. But in this one, that never happened, as he just continues walking home, heading down the same shortcut, as the villain was already taken care of, as he looks through his phone, seeing that All Might is currently in town, with Izuku saying, "Oh man, I didn't know that All Might was here in Masafu. I really wanted to get an autograph from him, but I guess that's easier said than done. And plus, I don't want to worry Mom more than I already have by being out here for so long. Still, I want to see more about this system and how many demons I can summon as well." But then also thinking, Cleopatra was really flirty with me, showing that she already has a strong affinity towards me. But then looking through that system and looking back at Cleopatra, looking at her abilities, her magical skills, and even her stats, realizing that she really is a powerhouse. Not to mention, it says affinity towards summoner, saying maxed out. Within saying, "Yep, figures as much." As Izuku couldn't help but sigh a little bit, but not in disappointment, but more in that of worry, if that's how a lot of demons are going to be strongly affectionate and loyal to him to a fault, no matter what, as a devil summoner. As thinking, even though Demi-Fiend and Nahabino came at their risk, with that of demon allies, still, he would have preferred them having their own will or something, outside of just being his allies in combat and having to rely on them always. Within, feeling this frustration, this sense of powerlessness even more than before, even though he has now gained so much more power. He slaps his face within, saying, "Don't think like that, Izuku. You have this now. That means you're strong enough, which also means you can prepare for the UA entrance exam. I'll be the hero I always meant to be, with the power of the system in my hands." As he arrives in his neighborhood, into that of the apartment complex where he lives at, heading up to that of 2 flights of stairs on that of the 3rd floor, as he soon unlocks the key, uses his key to unlock the door, saying, "I'm home, Mom. Sorry I'm late. You're not going to believe this." Before then, noticing that of 2 extra pair of shoes, one being that of, black boots, while the other being that of, well, high brown boots, actually. But then thinking, hey, Mom, we have that a guest today? I didn't think we would. But then Inko saying, oh, Izuku, you're gonna be surprised on who we have here. But then Izuku realizing, oh yeah? Then who could it be? As he looks at that of two ladies right at the dinner table in their apartment. Seeing that of the same beautiful blonde-haired girl with that of the pink highlights and the, well, quite revealing kimono and tattoo on her chest with a smug face and basically drinking some beer for some reason. While the other being the same girl around the same age as Izuku with the long pink hair and quite, well, curvaceous figure. And she has a bit of a nervous look on her face, unable to look Izuku in the face entirely. But then Izuku blinking multiple times saying, wait. Before then, looking at the girl with the blonde hair saying, Shura Ne-chan? Was she gonna say, hey, little Izu, look at you, all grown up? As still a little bit frantic as he looks at that of the one with the blonde hair, as she looks quite nervous and also with that of blushing cheeks saying, wait, looking at her closely, realizing, Hono no Tan? Is that you? With then hearing that nickname as she's saying, yes, it's me, Lord Izuku. It's Homura. With then seeing the two ladies saying, what are the two of you doing here? But then Shura couldn't help but basically drink up the rest of the beer she had, saying, well, that's the thing is, tell me, Izuku, you have it, don't you? Or you're already aware of having it. With then Izuku realizing, huh? What do you, before then realizing, you didn't come for a visit. I'm guessing the clan already knows that I have it then. But then, Homura-tan couldn't help but say, yes, Lord Izuku. It seems the clan is aware that you have the Megaten system. With then Inko saying, out of everybody in the clan, why does it have to be my baby? I tried so hard to stay out of the supernatural, to stay out of the clan, to stay out of everything that they deal with. So why? But then, Inko begins to cry, as she could say, why does it have to be my baby boy? Does God truly despise me for just wanting to be happy? But then, seeing this, he's saying, Mom, no, please, don't cry. Look, we don't have to go to the clan. I can just step down and somebody can else. But then, Shura saying, yeah, no, that's not how it works, Izuku. Anyone who has that of the system automatically becomes the head of the clan. Sure, you're free to do whatever you please, but you still got your duties to fulfill. If the supernatural finds out that its head is basically, well, defenseless and doesn't have any, and basically is still just new to the supernatural and doesn't have any powerful demons already, you can already imagine how this affects us. And then, looking at Izuku, as he comes to realization saying, and let me guess, you were already attacked, weren't you? But then, hearing that, Inko saying, Izuku! Please, be honest with me. Were you... With then, Izuku looking down, as soon, Homura, no longer stuttering or nervous, saying, please, Lord Izuku, come back with us. Allow us to train you for the time being. If I'm guessing, you still want to be a hero, don't you? But then, hearing that, Izuku saying, how do you... Which you're saying, remember when we were kids? You always basically scream that you'll be a pro hero, a great hero, no matter what. Even when you were diagnosed quirkless, you'll say that you never will give up on your dream of being a hero. But then, hearing that, Izuku can help but blush a little bit, being called out, but realize that the two girls do know him that well. But then saying, yeah, it's true. I originally planned on going to UA, actually. With then Shura saying, well, either way, you're coming back with us. one way or another. You can forget your schooling here or whatever that dead end or crummy school that you go to anyway. You'll be basically doing all your schooling back at the compound estate. With then hearing that, Inko saying, out of the question, I won't be sending that of Izuku back to that den, to that viper's den. Even if he is the clan's new head, I refuse. With then Izuku saying, Mom, please. With her saying, Izuku, I'm kind of figuring this was going to happen either way when I got the system. And to be honest, I didn't choose the other two. I chose Devil Summoner, actually. But then hearing that, both Homura, alongside that of Inko, couldn't help but be shocked. But then Shura saying, seriously? You chose the weakest one out of the other two? God, you're a dumbass. Which means you need more training than we expected after all. Great. At any rate, as then she's saying, get your shit together in the next couple of days. We'll be back. But then looking at Inko saying, and Auntie, if you feel like it, you can always come back too. Even though you came back, even though you basically left the clan in the worst way possible a few years ago, that doesn't mean saying, I told myself and I promised myself I would never step back into that damn den ever again. And I made a promise to that. However, having to send Izuku into it is the worst thing more, because that was the very reason why I stopped. But then Izuku saying, wait, you're saying I was the... With soon Izuku saying, so even now I'm still just a burden to you. With then Inko saying, oh no, Izuku, that's not... Then why? Why do you hate your family that much? Don't get me wrong. Ever since people found out that we were related to them, they treated me differently. Even those who basically know that I was quirkless still try to act nice to me from time to time. Because they think that they'll get something out of me. But I'm aware. But I don't let it affect me. Why does it affect you? Within hearing this, Inko couldn't help but grit her fists as she's saying, because I just don't want to deal with the supernatural. I have seen so many of my friends outside of Mitsuki gotten basically involved in the supernatural because they were connected to me. They've lost their lives, their family, everything, all because of me. And the same thing might happen to you, Izuku, if you're not prepared. And especially since this is the day of quirks, so many people now have quirks. The supernatural can now blend in with normal people and do what they please and just write it off as that of villainous actions. Even that of some people in the supernatural basically became that of pro heroes and do what they please as well. And basically just shoves it off as that of an accident. This is the reality we live in, Izuku. This is the twisted world we live in. And I just wanted you to be safe from it. That's all I've ever wanted. You and Hasashi just to be safe. As Inko begins to break down crying. Before then, Izuku begins to hug her. And not just him, but also that of Homura. And even Shura as well. As they all three of them comfort that of the woman who has basically been through so much paranoia and pain because of her family name. But even so, Izuku continues saying, you always told, ever since I was a kid, when I played as All Might, even before my quirk, you always were the one thing that kept me going, Mom, and the clan too. That anybody with that of good enough potential can learn how to use that of powers of the supernatural and pass it off as that of a quirk. Even if I wasn't born with a sacred gear, I was still thankful of basically being part of something greater, that I could use it to help others in need too. Doesn't matter if I'm a pro hero or not. I want to use this power, use this system for the greater good of not just Japan, not just for heroes, not for just for the people, but for everybody in the supernatural as well. I want to change it all for the better. Within hearing these words, as Inko couldn't help but basically break down again, but instead of tears of sadness and grief, but instead they're tears of joy, seeing on how well she raised her baby boy. Within, she's saying, okay then, you can go to that of the Megami clan's compound state, but only for junior high. After that, you'll need to go to that. You still plan on going to UA, right? Within, Izuku saying, right. But I'm guessing since I'm now the head of the clan, I can't go to the hero course. With then, she's saying, most probably not. Your duties as the head of the clan needs to be cemented after all. With Homura still going back to nervousness, saying, plus there are also duties outside of the clan since you being the head, even though you'll have free will to do as you please, but still. Yeah, I'm aware. Before then, taking a deep breath with a look of pure and utter resolve on his eyes, saying, then I'm prepared. I'm prepared to be the head of the Megami clan. With those words alone, Izuku's resolve is now tenfold for what's to come. Currently in another plane of existence lies that of the Shinto heavens, the HQ of the Shinto gods of Japan, known as Tagamagahara, and that of a divine palace within this realm, as one figure who basically walks the halls all by his lonesome. Before then, one figure saying, hey, Izukane. Within, the figure known as Izukane stops saying, can I help you, Lord Kagetsuchi? As the figure being that of a man wearing a fiery robe, kimono robe, with that of flaming hair, with that of tan skin, as this being the Japanese fire god Kagetsuchi, with saying, honestly, I heard the rumors in the news that your former mortal clan got another head leader, and not only that, they didn't choose the realm of the divine or the realm of darkness this time. They, just like the last one, they chose the realm of the mortals with the devil summoning. Honestly, I'm starting to think that your clan is about to die out more and more. If that entity wasn't so fond of you for some damn reason, I don't know what else. People are choose their own paths. We should be allowing that. Nothing more, nothing less. Hey, I thought for sure that you would at least feel a lot less lonely after all. But whatever. At any rate, I don't think this new leader's gonna last long. I think they're just some kid by the name of Izuku Midoriya. Some quirkless brat, to be honest. At any rate, it's not my place to say. Just want to let you know that your clan may be up. Number may be up. That's all. But then, hearing that name, saying Izuku Midoriya as Izukane, or rather, his original name, Izuken, the first head and leader of the Megami clan, now known as the god of loyalty of the Shinto pantheon, saying, Izuku Midoriya, so it's finally time. If only they knew. If only everybody in the supernatural knew that system and everything that I and all my descendants have done was made for him and him alone. All our actions can finally be fulfilled to unite the supernatural and the mortal realm as well. I leave the rest to you, my fated descendant, as the new god continues to walk and watch how the world unfolds. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Let's read them. And yeah, sorry that this didn't have fully on action like I figured you guys probably wanted. And not only that, yes, Izuku is starting with the weakest class with IC and kind of that of, the Shin Megami Tensei series, that being Devil Summoner. Now, I know what some of you Shin Megami Tensei fans are going to say, but Leon, the Devil Summoner class, is just as badass. I mean, look at that of Raito, for example. The GOAT, the absolute badass. Yes, I know, Raito is a badass and the absolute GOAT of Shin Megami Tensei. However, compared to that of beings like that of, well, the Demi-Fiend and Nahabino, it's easier. It's gonna be hard to compare them to that of those two, to be honest. Even that of those of Atlas and Sega have confirmed that of Demi-Fiend is one of the most powerful beings, if not the most powerful being in the Mega Tense franchise. So yeah. However, Izuku, on the other hand, I want Izuku to learn and gain power from that of others while becoming strong in his own right, while also reaching that of godhood, beyond godhood, while still remaining as a mortal. And that's my kind of take for this. At any rate, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep updated when I upload on the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, gaming channel, main channel, other channel, Patreon, and Cash App. All link in the description below if I'm not too lazy to do so. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and I hope you all take care.